Hey guys, so this is going to be the video for it's going to be effective training in League of Legends, and I'm going to be talking about pretty much how to break down the game and its core defining principles in order to actually improve. So we can compare League of Legends to a sport, a traditional sport, like let's say soccer, football, and if you are trying to train for a tournament, professionalism, or whatever it is you're attempting to go for in the sport, you want to try to break down the sport fundamentals. So for soccer, I guess you could say a fundamental could be general fitness, game vision, technicality. These are all things that can be broken down. And instead of playing 1,000 different matches, what we can do is we can isolate these specific variables and then try to replicate them in the actual game and thus, improve. So the video will be focused on 3 major drills that I've come up with. And the first drill is going to be essentially spacing from A to B in a custom game, which we're going to be talking about. And this drill has a lot to do with tethering maximum abilities, and then obviously being able to maximize CS without ending up taking a ton of awkward amounts of damage. The second drill or training that we're going to talk about is going to be the 1v1 CD callout, and I'm going to go more over this when I actually get to it. And then finally, the third drill is going to be playing with intention, which is going to be a lot more of a more abstract drill, but we're going to talk about that as well as we move forward into the video. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the first drill. It's going to be spacing from A to B. We're going to go right into a custom game. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a champion. And we're going to go ahead and talk about what this drill actually entails. So for this first drill, we're going to actually just space against the minions. And how this is going to work is we're going to be going from point A to point B. You don't really need a minion, dummy, or whatever, it really doesn't matter, but the idea here is to make sure you have this open and understand your auto attack range. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from point A to point B, and as you can see, my clicks are moving in and out. So we're going to do this relative to the minion that we want to hit. So I'm doing this really slowly right now, but my first click is going to be point A, my second click is going to be point B. And what I'm doing is my clicks and point A and B are going to change relative to the minion that I actually want to last hit. So if this is the next minion, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move in and out like this, and I'm going to auto it as it's in last hit range. If the next minion, let's say, is this one over here, I'm going to go ahead and move in and out. I'm going to hit it. I miss it. That's fine. We're going to find another minion to hit. Again, this is going to be, let's say this is the minion that we're going to try to CS next. We're going to go from point A, point B, and then as it's in last hit range, we're going to try to hit it. Okay, I'm obviously missing CS here, but that's not the point of the video. Again, same concept, point A to point B, we're going to move in and out. Right? Now we want to hit the cannon, and obviously if you're playing mid lane and you position yourself over here to hit cannon, or let's say you position yourself over here to hit the minion, the enemy will obviously hit you, because they're going to know when you go in for the CS. But if you position away from the CS, and you keep your maximum range on autos, just tethering upon the CS, the CS range, you're not going to give the opponent a chance to potentially hit you. So right off the bat, right here, if this is the next minion we're going to hit, our click will go from point A to point B, and as it's in last hit range, we're going to auto it, and our next click is going to be back. And we're going to do this over and over again inside of the custom tool, right? And obviously you can lock XP, or you can do whatever you want with it. But the idea of this drill is to actually have your clicks not too close to the CS, and so you end up getting harassed, but to actually be able to maximize the spacing between you and your champion, and then be able to actually maximize CS. Now, the reason this is going to increase your overall CS amounts is because if you tether properly, right, and you space properly, again, let's say this is the minion right here that we want to last, the middle one as on the casters, then you're going to be able to obviously retain health, because then the opponent can't trade onto you as easily. And so what is happening then is you can actually use your autos to then obviously take the CS, and we can play lane a lot more smoothly. Okay, so the next drill is going to be through cooldowns, and it's going to essentially be laning. But while you're laning with somebody, you want them in a voice call, and what's going to happen is you're actually going to be talking about what summoner spells, not summoner spells, what spells are actually like used inside of the lane. So now, for example, if I lane with this Ahri player, for example, and you know, we're just laning, and I randomly wait for her to go for a CS, okay, she just queued, I'm going to wait for her to go for a last hit, and then I'm going to attempt to give her a Q. Now that I've hit her with a Q, I'm going to say Q 5 seconds. Now that I've said Q 5 seconds, the opponent, or you know, your 1v1 partner in the call, is going to now essentially play with the concept that your Q is now on a 5-second cooldown. Now, as the opponent uses a Q, you know, whenever she does, if I stand close to her and maybe she uses a Q, she's gonna say Q 8 seconds or 7 seconds. I don't know what the cooldown on Ahri's Q is. And so now what's gonna end up happening is I'm going to now play as though her Q is off of is on cooldown. Obviously, she charmed and Q'd me. Now we're gonna say Q charm is down, and we're gonna say the cooldown. And now I'm gonna move in relative to the cooldown being blown. Now that I've blown a cooldown, I'm gonna say QW is down. And now the opponent is going to play against me as though my spells are also are down. Now, what this is going to actually train is knowing what spells are down and actually engaging against the enemy when they are down. And if you have someone in the call literally telling you that my Q is down for, let's say, 6 seconds, they will move in. Now, I don't know if this guy will move in, but he does charm, he does Q. Now that I know his spells are down, I'm going to now try to move in. I'm going to QW, I'm going to auto, I'm going to shield myself with the auto, and then I'm going to run back. Again, this is stuff that I mean, he's going to kill me, but whatever. This is stuff that players in low elo don't actually do. And by doing this, by literally telling somebody in a call that my X ability is down for X amounts of time, it will then force the other person to actually begin to move in relative to those cooldowns. And the more you practice this, eventually in-game, it will become second nature. And this is one of the most important things when it comes to trading in lower elo, which a lot of lower elo players don't seem to do. And if you're able to do this drill over and over again, it's going to be very beneficial for when you actually get into a game, because obviously you're not going to have the opponent laner inside of a real match tell you, hey, this is down, but you're going to be practiced enough to actually see it and now play around it. Okay, so for this third drill, it's going to be a little more abstract and a bit more ambiguous, but we are going to still be able to replicate it. And the third drill is essentially playing League of Legends with intention. Now, this is not a fundamental drill, and this is not something I would recommend lower elo players to do. However, I think that lower elo players should at least try to attempt it, because eventually it will matter the higher level they get. And I do want to at least teach you League of Legends rather than just tell you to CS and trade and space and all that other basic stuff. So what you're going to do, and I'm not going to show you an exact example because this is just a VOD of a game I played like a few hours ago, but what you're going to do is you're going to go into call again with the 1v1 partner, and you're going to go into voice call with them, okay? And you guys are going to discuss the win condition on one side of the jungle. We're not gonna overcomplicate it and have two junglers. So let's say I am, silver player 1, and this is, let's say, silver player 2, and we want to get better. And I'm going to be like, okay, so the win condition is going to be, I have a Xin Zhao on my team. And, or let's say you have a Xin Zhao on your team. So enemy Zed has Xin Zhao, right? Right? And what I want to do is I want to, let's say, bounce back the wave on 3, for example. So what you would now do is you would try to say that if wave 3 is the bounce back wave and wave 3 is the win condition, you now as Orianna, or the player 1 who's attempting to improve against the jungler who is hypothetically going to be Xin Zhao. Obviously there's no Xin Zhao in the game, and there won't be a champion in your custom game. You're going to now play the game relative to attempting to win the bounce back. Because if you win the bounce back if you get the proper lane state in high elo, you've essentially won the game. Now, please excuse my poor play here. This is not what I want to do. Now, if the concept is I'm going to go ahead and bounce on 3, then I should actually just queue this entire wave and hard shove it in, have 2 buffer, and then just have 3 come into me. So shove 1, shove 2, have 3 essentially come into me. if the win condition changes, and now let's say, for example, and again, you're discussing this with the friend, and you two decide that, let's say that there's going to be early left side aggression on the left hand side of the lane, and let's say it's I don't know, man. Let's say it's Zach versus Sejuani, and Zach and Sejuani have both started onto the right hand side of the map and now transitioning to the left side, and so there will be a scuttle fight. Let's say the top lane is stagnant, top lane doesn't matter, priority in bot lane doesn't matter, none of that matters, and all we're going to be talking about is in mid lane. So now what's going to end up happening is, if the win condition is to have lane state advantage on wave 4, for example, at 315 when the scuttle ends up spawning, then what you should do as the Orianna player, you want to now attempt to manipulate the wave on wave 4 at 315, and so thus you can respond to your jungler. You're not actually doing this is all hypothetical, but we want to try to replicate this in the actual game. And so if you are able to get lane priority or lane initiative on wave 4, if the win condition is left side aggression from both junglers, top lane being stagnant, then we restart the custom game and we go again. And obviously you guys can start fighting for level 4, or wave 4, sorry, by playing champions that are similar in wave in wave management, or not wave management, but wave clear. So you could play Syndra versus Orianna, you could play you could play Zed into I don't know, Talon. Probably Talon wins that, but doesn't really matter. You play champions with similar wave clear, and you try to win on certain waves. And I would suggest you do this with a coach in the call, or you do this with a high elo player in the call, or you at least really try to understand the concepts before attempting to try to do this, because this could be really, really bad, and it could just lead up to both players in silver, gold, platinum, and even in low diamond having no concept of what to actually do, and just, it just becomes a random 1v1 where they think they know what to do. So just be a little careful when attempting to do this drill. So that is it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I will try to do more content like this as much as possible. We did discuss all 3 drills. First drill being the A to B spacing and tethering max range against abilities. The second being doing the 1v1 call out on ability cooldowns, and finally being able to play League of Legends with the third drill through having a game plan and trying to execute it through a neutral win condition. And again, the third drill is a little bit complex. It is a bit abstract, and please don't worry if you don't understand it at first, because it does require to watch. You do need to watch a lot of the videos before you start understanding these things. And if you have any questions, you can always just ask me in Twitch chat, or you can just comment in the you can comment below. I'll try to answer as much as possible. You can always find me on stream. I do stream usually every day at twitch.tv/zenedu, and feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you for the next video. Take care. Bye.